What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new episode. Coach Joe here with Heartletics.com. And yes, I still have a little bit of a voice. Let's just say it like that. It's getting better. I've been pounding the Mucinex and throat coat tea, trying my best to get this thing, you know, back to normal. But hey, we sometimes have to play with the cards that are dealt with us, right? And that's like life. So that's why in today's episode, I want to share with you guys just three tips. Three tips on how to really develop mental toughness. Honestly, because at the end of the day, like, there is so much power to your own mindset, you just don't even understand. And I feel like when you have a greater awareness, when you have a greater understanding of your mindset, your own circumstances, well, guess what? We can then make a better change. We can then change the way that we think. We can then change our realities. And it's very simple. I'll put it to you to a practical sense, right? Most people are very unaware of the foods that they consume, right? Maybe they're like, oh, I think I eat healthy because I eat a salad every day. But maybe they pour ranch all over it and have like cheese on top, and that salad's like 1,000 calories. And then for dinner, right, it's like the same thing. They're putting like, hey, I'm only having meat and veggies, but then it's like all this butter and excess calories that they don't even think about. And what happens is, hey, awareness kicks in. Somebody's like, hey, dude, you're overeating, right? Even though you're eating a salad, you think it's healthy. You're putting all this ranch and cheese on top, and that equals a lot of fat. And fat has more, calories compared to proteins and carbohydrates. And you're way overeating on your calories. You're not in a deficit to burn body fat. You know, same thing with the dinner. So it's the awareness, it's the understanding. And then think about it, that person can be more mindful. And maybe instead of like cutting out the ranch, they're just choosing like I don't know, a lower calorie, fat free ranch dressing, right? Same thing with cheese. Same thing with maybe instead of the butter, maybe they're cooking their, veggies and their steaks and I don't know, a 0 calorie, spray that they could put on their frying pan instead. Simple things like that, right? Awareness. And you probably didn't even think about that until I just mentioned it, right? Little things add up like that. So let me really kind of shock you a little bit and talk a little bit more about the mindset. But most importantly, your mindset. Because at the end of the day, like, everybody's minds is pretty much the same. Meaning, hey, there's an infinite amount of power to our minds. But with that being said, you have to do your role here and start figuring out, okay, what are some things to do to enhance in some of the superpowers that I'm capable to really embrace, your unique mindset. And we're going to go over three tips. But before we do, let me share with you guys some stories because I feel like you need to just understand a little bit more about the power of your own mindset. And these are just two of the stories that I tell our clients all the time when it comes down to, stop creating these self-limiting beliefs for yourself. At the end of the day, this is your life. You can have it however you want. You can manifest whatever you want into your life. It's just, do you believe it? They say, I think it was Tom Ford, he said that, or whether you think, Tom Ford or Henry Ford, one of the Fords, right? Whether you think you can or think you cannot, you're right. Another wise person once said, when you can see it in your head, you can hold it in your hand. There's so much power to the mindset. So often, right, we get guys that apply for our coaching program. And, they have to fill out what's called a transformation application form. So we can go over all the details and kind of see, like, hey, if this person's qualified for a coaching program or not. It's not like anybody can just go to Heartletics and apply for a free coaching call and then, hey, boom, they got the bare minimum to invest into their health. They're going to get signed up. There's plenty of guys that has the bare minimum. We don't charge a lot as the bare minimum to get started. But with that being said, it doesn't mean that guys are also qualified, right? And so what we want to make sure is that they fill out this form where we can see a little bit more data into terms of their lifestyle, their goals, their workouts, their nutrition habits, everything like that, their self-limiting beliefs, their mindset. So we can say like, okay, hey, is this person going to be worth the investment with our time? Because at the end of the day, like, let's face the facts here, people. You can always make your money back in life. You can never make your time back. That's the most precious commodity. And so what we want to make sure is, hey, when that person is submitting over a form, as we reviewed, me and the other coaches, is it worth the investment of our time? Because it's a trade-off here, plain and simple. And what I'm getting at, right, and the reason why I'm telling you this is because at the end of the day, okay, when it boils down to something about, let's say, our coaching program, specifically at Heartletics, it's not just fat loss. That's what it used to be, plain and simple. The meal plans, the workouts, the weekly check-in videos, the community groups, everything like that. It's a lot more than this. And let's just say that you're tuning in right now, and let's say that you're a Heartletics member. You've probably seen the radical shift, right, that has happened in, let's just say, the last 3 to 4 weeks, you know? And as of this morning, we officially have a Heartletics journal, that anybody can go to heartletics.com, click on the apparel, and obviously scroll through and see the notebooks. But like, it's amazing, because what Heartletics is forming to become is a mindset coaching program that mixes fat loss, because it's very easy. It's very easy. We always tell somebody, hey, at the end of the day, once you change your mind, you can easily change your body. Once you get those results up here, you'll get those physical results down there. You know, seeing the abs you want, seeing the body that you want, having more energy, all that. But back to what I was saying, when somebody applies for coaching, they have to put in this form, some details. And one of the questions is, are you on any medications? And we get hundreds of guys that apply for Heartletics that struggle with high blood pressure, high cholesterol. A lot of people, honestly, struggle with diabetes as well, you know? And so the reason why I'm bringing this about, right, is that specific question, is because the power of your mindset. I challenge everybody that's on medications, and let's say you're on medications right now, challenge everybody, do your own research, okay? You will find out, because I hear it from people, they use this excuse of, oh, it's hereditary, it's genetics. Everybody in my family suffers with high blood pressure. Everybody in my family suffers with cholesterol. I really want you to do your own research and look into things, because you'll find out here that genetics only adhere to anywhere from 20 to 30%. That's it. 20 to 30%. So that means if, let's say, somebody in your family, let's say your father has suffered with high blood pressure, and then your grandfather has suffered with high blood pressure, and then his father has suffered with high blood pressure. Well, guess what, brother? At the end of the day, if genetics only adhere to anywhere from 20 to 30% being accurate, being true, that means, and let's say we take the max of that, 30%, that means 70% is still in your hands, still in your control, where you can just say, hey, this might be true for my father, my grandfather, right, my great-grandfather, but at the end of the day, it stops the tracks here with me, because you're going to start doing the right things. You're going to start improving on your health. You're not going to care about what has happened in the past, because you're just going to start taking control over your body, your reality, your mindset. And it all starts with you taking a commitment, with you taking action. We get hundreds of guys that tell us, oh, it's genetics. Oh, it's hereditary. It falls down the family tree. But guess what? Once we break that self-limiting belief, they're off the meds like that. And it's so inspiring just to see what could happen in somebody's life when they change their own mindset. Now, that's just one little, tip I want to share with you, one little success story. Another one is of Robert Bannister. And look him up, okay? For years, right? It's been told it's impossible to run a 4-minute mile. In fact, scientists, doctors has even claimed that if you run a 4-minute mile, your heart will explode. It is physically impossible to run a 4-minute mile. Physically impossible. Well, guess what? I believe his name was Robert Bannister. Robert Bannister. Yeah, look it up. The story is so inspiring because he was able to do it. He was able to complete that 4-minute mile. And guess what? That same year that he completed it, there was hundreds of people that were able to run a 4-minute mile after him. Even high schoolers But just a few years back, right? Remember, even doctors said that the human heart would explode. And here goes this guy, right? Robert. He's like, hey, I'm going to do it. I don't care what happens. I'll die on the track. And he does it. Breaks that self-limiting belief, and hundreds of people after him were able to still complete a 4-minute mile run. Did anybody die doing it? I don't think so. I didn't look too much into that research, right? But I'm here today to tell you that, hey, hundreds of people, because of one person, Robert Bannister was able to complete that 4-minute mile run. Guess what? Hundreds of people were able to do it afterwards because of the power of the mindset. And here's the thing. I already said this in the beginning. You, me, Robert, right? All these other people out there, the celebrities, the, favorite, athletes that you like watching on, Sunday football. Guess what? Their mindset is no different from yours. It's just that they understand the power of their mindset. They understand that, hey, they're not going to let any self-limiting beliefs hold them back in life. No matter how bad of a past you may have had, it does not mean you need to continue having a bad future. Man, I really wish my voice was better because I feel like this is going to be a fire of a podcast for you guys today. And if you guys get any value at all, I just hope that you guys just share this on maybe your Facebook or social media or maybe with a loved one, because I want everybody to understand this message that your mindset is the greatest muscle on your body. Not your biceps, not your chest, not your legs, not your abdominals. Your mindset, your mental muscle. Now, most people out there, they don't train their mental muscle. And that's a problem because they lack confidence. They lack willpower. They lack self-esteem because they never train their mental muscle. And I always say it like this. When life throws you curveballs, adversity, guess what? These are the reps to build your mental muscle. And when you're not used to that, it's very easy for somebody to go back to their old ways, fall off the wagon, go back to their old habits. And that's why year after year, nobody really sees a change into their life and lifestyle until they change what? Their mindset. And it all stems from who are you surrounding yourself with? That's it. So let me go into 3 tips. 3 tips, okay? And that bonus one, that's not one of these, but that's definitely a good point that I probably should have wrote down, honestly. Your identity. Les Brown, motivational speaker, said it best. Birds of a feather flock together. If you hang around with losers in life, you're going to become a loser. If you hang around with winners in life, you're going to become a winner. That's why we tell people all the time, you want to have the best success with Heartletics inside of our coaching program. Well, guess what? Go, ask some questions inside the community group. Go join the weekly Zoom chats that we do. Like at the end of the day, we have nothing but winners. And when you start surrounding yourself with these type of individuals that are no different from you, you're going to start achieving the same success that they are. And that's why there's nothing but winners inside the Heartletics community groups. So find somebody, right, that can hold you accountable. Surround yourself with types of people that, hey, are where you're trying to get to in terms of your goals in life. Find some Facebook groups. We have a free Facebook group. Literally, if you're a male that's over the age of 40, go to Facebook, go into the group sections, search for Heartletics. You'll find Men 40 Plus Fat Loss Coaching by Heartletics.com. Join the free Facebook group. Tons of motivation, tons of inspiration. Once again, guys that are just like you. So that's a bonus. Now let's get into 3 tips, right, that I actually wrote down, right, that I want to dive into for today's podcast on how to help you just become mentally stronger, to unlock the fullest potential of your mindset, to feed the good wolf, baby. At the end of the day, like, life's always got their curveballs, right? That's the bad wolf, but we don't have to feed into that. And so the first tip that I want to give you, it's change the way that you look at things. Like, honestly. And I will say this, these are not tips that like you can like physically like do. It's more about the mindset. It's more about a shift. Maybe the last one you could physically do, right? But like, once again, it's more about the mindset. So this first one goes into change the way that you look at things. At the end of the day, if let's say, I don't know, my business burns down the ground, I follow bankruptcy, whatever. Like, dude, my family's still alive. My family loves me. My family's gonna say, hey, I'm proud of you for trying your hardest. Hey, it didn't work out, but we're here to support you. I'll find a job, right? Like, they pay good money elsewhere, you know. We're fine. Like, but now somebody might not have that positive outlook. Somebody might be like, man, Joe, you worked so hard for years on this business and it failed and burned down the ground, you know, and like, let's say if the shoes are flipped and you were in my shoes, right? You might call it quits. And people do that all the time. They lose a job, right? They go back to their old ways. They get depressed. They hone in on that. It seems like they just get stuck, right? Anytime there's a negative situation, they just absorb it more and more. Guys, at the end of the day, no matter how negative of a situation is, you can always have a positive flipping of the switch, a positive turning of events, a positive outlook that could shift your identity, shift your reality of how you view this negative situation. Let's say if I don't know, your spouse, right? Let's say they cheat on you and something happens and you guys file divorce and you might feel like, you can't, accept, love again. And maybe you feel like you're going through this hard time and, there's maybe you don't have a good job, whatever the case may be, and you just see nothing but darkness, Maybe your kids don't even want to talk to you anymore. You're just there, right? All you by yourself. But guess what? It's just a page of the story. It's not the end of the book. There's always a new chapter. Just keep on flipping the pages. So many people, they don't know how to turn the next page. The only pages that they constantly review is their current pages and their past pages. They don't understand what could be potentially at the end of the book, right? It's like anything. No matter how strong, like, let's say once again, right? Like, let's say your spouse cheats on you. Kids hate you. You lose your job, right? You're just stuck, right? Nobody wants to talk to you. No friends, no nothing. But you can always find gratitude in the midst of how negative a situation is. And you can use that negativity, you can use that gratitude to pull out the light in you. You need to see that light at the end of the tunnel, no matter how dark it is, no matter how negative it is. You can still use that gratitude to pull out the light. And it's just how you view things, because you never know, once again, what's going to happen in these other chapters, right? What's going to happen near the rest of the book unless you flip the pages. You might find somebody, turns out to be your twin flame, your soulmate, right? That person might have, let's say, a relative, right? And let's say they own a franchise or a business and they really like you a lot. And they're like, hey, I want you to run this. Next thing you know, you're making even more money, right? Like, and then you look back and you're like, holy cow. I just realized, I was in a toxic relationship for years of my life, and I had a positive outlook. No matter how dark it got, I still found something I was grateful for. And that shifted that mindset to saying, hey, it's not over yet. Because it's not. Your story's not done. You can always find something that you're grateful for. Hey, you got toothpaste to brush your teeth? Be grateful for that. You got toilet paper to wipe your butt? Be grateful for that. Everybody has breath in their lungs. Everybody. You wouldn't be listening to this podcast right now. You should be grateful for that. When's the last time, I'll put it to you like this, right? Right now, I don't have a voice. But I'm grateful that I don't have a voice. Because guess what? Like, it's something to be thankful for, because at the end of the day, a week ago when I had a great voice, I wasn't thankful of my voice. Little things like that have a different outcome. I could be like, oh man, allergies are kicking my butt, sinus is kicking my butt. I hate living up here in Cleveland, Ohio, like these 4 seasons that go on in the course of a week. I can't deal with this anymore. But guess what? Hey, I'm still kicking. I'm alive. There's something to be grateful for. You just got to find it. And once you start using your mindset to shift your perspective and have a different outlook on things, it's a lot easier to find gratitude. So that's number one. Change the way that you look at things. Once you do, the way that you look at things will change. I promise you that. Now, number two, on how to, feed the good wolf even more, develop more mental toughness, is to simply step outside your comfort zone. I cannot stress this enough. I cannot stress this enough. And especially if you're somebody that just got signed up for our coaching program, or you're, progressing right now through your 12-week transformation program, or even if you're in the mindset coaching phases, regardless, every single day, step outside your comfort zone. I say it all the time. Recording these podcasts, this ain't easy, right? Like going out there, like getting a bunch of no's to people that don't want to talk to me and don't want to hear about Heartletics, that ain't easy, But at the end of the day, I'm still putting in the work. I'm still stepping outside my comfort zone. Why? Because I know for a fact that if I don't, when life throws me these curveballs, when life throws these adversities, if I'm not willing to work out my mental muscle by stepping outside my comfort zone each and every day, I'm going to get destroyed when life throws me those curveballs. That's the reality. It's like entering a powerlifting competition, right? Which is you're doing your bench, your squats, your deadlifts. And let's say you don't bench, squat, or deadlift. Well, guess what? When you show up for that tournament, right, that competition, you're probably going to fail. You're probably going to suck. In fact, if you would have just squatted, benched, and deadlift just a little bit, maybe 5 times before that actual competition, you'd probably be a lot better. You'll learn how to master the form, the technique, which is very important. You'll learn the rules. Obviously, powerlifting, there's different rules, And so maybe that makes a lot of sense now that I'm putting into a different twist. Because remember, it's all about how you see things. Just like how I said in number 1, the tip. It's how about you see things, right? So when it comes down to stepping outside your comfort zone, purposefully do something where you have to step outside your comfort zone each and every day. Because guess what? It's just like those reps. It's just like being a power lifter getting ready for a competition. You're training for that event. Well, guess what? I'm training for when life throws me these curveballs. I don't know when they're going to come. There's not a date to it, but they're going to come. And that's the inevitable. And the people that sign up for our coaching program, they know that. That's why we don't focus on just nutrition and training and that's it. We focus most importantly on the mindset, because that's what's going to help somebody create those habits and sustain those habits to help them on their fat loss journey when life is tough. So, number 2, step outside your comfort zone each and every day. And the last tip is my favorite in my opinion. Talk to yourself. Literally, talk to yourself. If your kids, let's say, get a good job in, I don't know, let's say they pass their test, you tell them good job. If, let's say, your spouse, I don't know, gets a promotion, right? You would say, hey, congratulations, I love you. When's the last time you told yourself you were proud of you? When's the last time you told yourself you loved you? When's the last time you told yourself, hey, good job today? When? So talk to yourself. If you feel uncomfortable talking to yourself, right? Like, I don't honestly know how I could help you out. Like, it's the easiest thing in the world. Like, I could literally just close my lips right here and just think a thought in my head. And that thought is going to be a positive thought. And it's going to be me affirming something to myself. Like, I'm in the process of becoming the best version of myself. Everything that's happening to me is meant to be. Guess what? That keeps me in such a peace of mind. So no matter when life throws me these curveballs, if I'm mentally telling myself, hey, everything that's happening right now in my life is meant to be, I'm still going to be successful at the end of the day. Reassurance, peace of mind, comforting. Just like if your I don't know, significant other comes up to you and says, oh man, I've been trying to do this fat loss program for, 3 days and I'm not seeing any results. You're going to be like, well, it's only been 3 days. Give it some more time. But yet, when life throws you curveballs, right? Adversity, stress, you mentally tell yourself the worst things possible. And that's why your life never gets any better. At the end of the day, talk to yourself. Start affirming something that is like what you want to be true into your life. What do you have to lose anyways? I mean, honestly, You only got one life to live. Might as well make the most out of it. And if you follow through with these three things that I just mentioned, right? Number one, change the way that you look at things. No matter how negative a situation is, guess what? You can always have a positive outlook on it. Uh, how many people told Robert Bannister he couldn't do the 4 minute mile, but he was able to do it with ease, and then hundreds of people were able to complete that afterwards. Power of the mindset. Change the way that you look at things. Right? Break those self-limiting beliefs. Number two is literally practice stepping outside your comfort zone each and every day. Go call a loved one that you haven't talked to in a while. Tell them you miss them. Go hold the door open for somebody. It doesn't have to be like literally something big and beyond, but just do something. If maybe like you want to get smarter in a subject, and I don't know, go do some dedicate 30 minutes to an hour and do research on that subject that you want to get more knowledge about. Like, just do something that you haven't been doing before that's going to help you and push you right outside your comfort zone where, yeah, you're not used to it. And yeah, it's going to feel awkward at first, but hey, at the end of the day, like, that's how we get better in life. Nobody just starts off brushing their teeth, right, instantly and putting toothpaste on the toothbrush when they're, 1-year-old or 2-year-olds. Like, no. Like, over time, like, think about it. Our parents have to help us with that. And then they have to hold us accountable. They have to remind us about that until it forms a habit. Same thing with driving a car. Nobody knows how to drive a car immediately out of the womb. It's like, no, you got to go to driver's ed. Somebody has to teach you, right? Like, you got to go through these steps and understand, like, that's the steps of life. It's the comfort zone, right? And there's levels to this. And every time you're stepping outside your comfort zone, guess what? Yeah, it's the unknown. Yeah, it's uncertain. Yeah, it's going to be tough in the beginning, but that's how you get this comfort zone bigger, right? I mean, look into any public speaker out there. Somebody even like, famous actor like The Rock. Like, I'm pretty sure like the first time maybe when he was in high school and he was like, I don't know, acting class or something like that, he was probably nervous. But now the dude can perform in front of billions of people and right, doesn't even break a sweat. So it's just like, think about that, right? It's just you're embracing that, unknown, i.e. outside your comfort zone each and every day. It helps you become more mentally stronger, especially when life throws you these curveballs, because they always will. And the last tip is to simply just start talking to yourself. Learn how to become your own best friend. And this is something we talk about a lot inside of our mindset coaching phases at Heartletics. So obviously we have a 12-week transformation program, and then afterwards we have 3 more coaching phases 4, 5, and 6, which is our mindset coaching phases, where we say it like this. The first 12 weeks, we teach somebody how to fish. Maybe you heard the phrase, somebody can give you a fish and feed you for a day, or somebody can teach you how to fish and feed you for the rest of your life. We teach somebody how to fish. We teach them sustainable habits when it comes down to nutrition and training to best suit their lifestyle to where they can burn body fat and keep it off for the rest of their life. Plain and simple. That's the first 12 weeks. But the second 12 weeks, this is where we help you hold yourself accountable, especially when life throws you these curveballs. And if you're somebody that's been listening currently right now, let's just say you're still on the fence thinking about Heartletics, I highly recommend go to heartletics.com, check out one of our free guides that we have that can simply teach you a little bit more about these habits and teach you how to level up mentally, honestly, because that's going to help you out at the end of the day so much more. So guys, that's it. Once again, if you got any value at all from today's episode, please go ahead and share this maybe on your Facebook page or with a loved one. Once, as always, guys, this has been Coach Joe with Heartletics.com. My apologies for the voice. Hopefully it gets better here in the next few days. But at the end of the day, I'm grateful I have a voice and I'm grateful to be alive. And I hope you guys all have a blessed day. As always, peace out, Girl Scout.